So you think drawer making is too complicated? Want to know how? Stick around.
Microjet, maker of the gripper. Work safer, work smarter.
Now I had a viewer ask me not too long ago about how to install drawer slides, and I also had another viewer ask me if I could show a few more options when it comes to making drawers. Well, I took this as an opportunity for a learning experience. Let's get started on the first and easiest method, which is the rabbet joint. Basically, I have ran a 1/4 inch groove all the way down the length of all 4 boards, which accepts the drawer bottom. And then I put a dado in the back of the 2 side pieces. This will accept the back of the drawer. Now the way drawers are constructed is you want the front piece to be inset of the 2 side pieces. You don't want it to be nailed or glued like this, simply because whenever you pull on a drawer, the act of that motion pulls this away from the drawer. So over time, the drawer will break down and the face will come right off the sides. So you want to set them inside the sides of the drawer and then pin them in place from this way. So what we're going to do first is cut the 1/4 inch deep rabbet on the ends of the sides to accept the drawer front, which will be the same depth as the back. So once you have your dado blade or your saw blade set up to the appropriate depth, you won't have to make a change. And you can cut all of these pieces at the same time. All right, there it is. The drawer is fully assembled and the bottom is cut to match. Now to secure this joint, you just want to use glue on the inside of the rabbet and then pin it in place with nails. This is the most common joint that you'll see on off-the-shelf cabinetry. All right, now we're going to cover the lock joint. The lock joint is one of my favorite ones to use. It's kind of a hybrid between a dovetail and a rabbet joint. Basically, there is a tongue that is on the inside of the drawer that extends into the side pieces, kind of like the rabbet does. Now to make the tongue, to sneak up on the measurement, we've installed a sacrificial fence here. I've got the 2 dado stack outer blades together, which is a 1/4 inch wide, and then I've raised it up a 1/2 inch deep. Now we'll cut the tongue with the groove facing up. All right, now it's time to cut the groove that will accept the tongue from the front. We've lowered the blade down to a 1/4 inch deep, and we've set the fence up to where it's 3/4 of an inch to the outside of the blade, not the inside. Now with this particular joint, you can tell that the front will not be pulled out from the pulling of the drawer because it's led into the side. Similar to a rabbet joint, but it's got this piece right here in front of it that will protect it. Now the lock joint is something I highly recommend using when making drawers for your garage or even your kitchen if you're on a limited budget and you don't have a dovetailing jig. Speaking of which, now we're going to do a half-tail dovetail joint for the sides of the drawer. These will be pinned in place as well. We've got the dovetail bit set up in the router with the sacrificial fence. This is the drawer front with the groove facing downward. And we're going to cut a 1/2 inch chunk out of this piece, leaving a 1/4 inch tongue on the top. Now, while using a miter gauge with a sacrificial fence that's bolted to the miter gauge, we can push the side with the groove facing towards the bit at an upright fashion and just nibble away at it until we have the exact fit we want. All right, now I've used screws right here in the side as placeholders for the dowel pins or brass rods or whatever you wanted to use to keep it in place. My main concern is I want you to see the joint and how good it looks. I'm going to throw a little bit of lacquer on here just so you can see. So as you can see, you can expand your horizons a little bit when it comes to the assembly of a drawer. They're actually very simple. You can go from the simple of butt joining to rabbet joining to lock joining to even the sliding dovetail half-tail joint. And you can go all the way up to doing hand-cut dovetails as well as a dovetail jig to make half-blind dovetails on your drawer sides. So now let's get to the other question of installing them.
Now my method's probably one of the easiest. I just take the center insert and put it on the very bottom of the drawer itself. Then take the slide and put it on the very bottom of the cabinet. That will be an 1/8 inch reveal that will take care of any dragging as you install the drawer.
And if you have multiple drawers like this, all you really need to do is find where you want the bottom of your next drawer to be above the bottom one, and then mount your slide there. And because there is an 1/8 inch gap from the bottom of the slide to the bottom of the insert that attaches to the drawer, your drawer won't ever rub the bottom drawer as long as the slide itself is above the drawer that you just installed. And if there's one big mistake that a lot of people make when they make drawers, I know I made the same one, is that they fill the cavity basically with the entire drawer. And you don't have to do that. The ones I made for my table saw on the inside of the carcass, they're very, very close together. And after making them and installing them and realizing how exact and precise I needed to be, it was kind of futile to do that. So make your drawers slightly smaller than the drawer faces themselves. Give yourself plenty of room to play with when it comes to installation, and the drawer faces will take care of the gaps that you see between the two. So guys, I hope that answered a few of your questions on how to make good drawers and how to install them. If you have any questions, be sure and send me emails or comment on my Facebook. I'll be happy to answer anything that you got. Also, I will be starting something on my website very soon to feature other people's projects, whether they were inspired by mine or you just want to show off your work. I hope to have that up fairly soon. So I hope to see some projects coming in, and I will be getting them posted to my website shortly thereafter. Also, don't forget, Rockin' H Woodshop is on Patreon. If you want to help support the show, be sure and visit my Patreon page. There you'll find ways to help donate to the cause and earn rewards at the same time. So thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you next time. Boom!